The scene is set in a dimly lit, abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of Baltimore. Flickering fluorescent lights cast eerie shadows on the concrete walls. The air is thick with tension as Chris Partlow, a cold and calculating enforcer from the Baltimore drug scene, prepares for a confrontation with Furio Giunta, a fierce and disciplined enforcer for the Italian mob. Chris Partlow stands near a stack of crates, adjusting his grip on a sleek Glock 19. His eyes are sharp, scanning for any sign of movement. He knows Furio is a dangerous opponent, trained, disciplined, and ruthless. Furio Giunta enters through a side door, his silhouette framed by the faint light from outside. He carries a Beretta 92 FS, its polished surface glinting ominously. Furio's expression is calm, a stark contrast to the tension of the moment. He knows he's facing a formidable foe, but believes in his training and instincts. "Chris," Furio calls out, his voice steady. "You should have stayed out of this." Chris smirks, stepping out from behind the crates. "And let you take over. Not a chance." The fight begins without warning. Chris fires the first shot. The bullet zips through the air, narrowly missing Furio, who instinctively drops to the ground and rolls behind a nearby column for cover. The sound of gunfire echoes through the warehouse, causing dust to fall from the ceiling. Furio quickly assesses his position. He knows he has to act fast. He peeks out, returning fire with precise aim. His training in the Italian mob instilled in him a sense of discipline and accuracy. The first shot hits Chris in the shoulder, causing him to stumble back, but he recovers quickly. Chris grits his teeth, anger fueling his actions. He ducks behind the crates, using the environment to his advantage. He reloads his weapon, calculating his next move. He knows he has the speed and agility, but is aware that Furio's marksmanship could easily turn the tide. Tactical maneuvers, Furio knows that Chris is fast, but relies on his experience in combat. He decides to flank Chris. He moves stealthily, using the shadows to conceal himself. As he approaches, he spots Chris peeking out from behind the crates. Furio takes a deep breath and fires again, but Chris is quick, rolling away just in time. Chris, now aware of Furio's position, decides to play a psychological game. He starts firing randomly, creating noise to confuse Furio. The shots ricochet off the walls, creating a chaotic atmosphere. Furio stays calm, listening intently for any sign of Chris's movements. At the climax, in a bold move, Chris throws a flashbang he had stashed in his pocket, momentarily blinding Furio. Seizing the opportunity, Chris charges forward, intent on closing the distance. Furio, disoriented but not out, instinctively raises his weapon, trying to regain his focus. As the flashbang detonates, Chris lunges at Furio, tackling him to the ground. The two grapple fiercely. Chris uses his brute strength, but Furio's combat training allows him to leverage his position. They roll across the concrete floor, exchanging blows until Chris manages to pin Furio down. In a last desperate move, Furio reaches for his Beretta, but Chris anticipates this. He delivers a swift punch to Furio's jaw, stunning him. With Furio momentarily incapacitated, Chris seizes the Beretta, aiming it at Furio's face. The conclusion, the game over Furio, Chris says, breathing heavily, adrenaline coursing through him. Furio looks up, knowing he's been bested in this confrontation. Chris Partlow is the clear winner of this brutal encounter. While both are skilled fighters, Chris's combination of speed, agility, and brute force ultimately gives him the upper hand. His ability to adapt quickly in the heat of battle and exploit the environment, like using the flashbang, was crucial. Furio's training was formidable, but in this chaotic showdown, Chris's raw determination and willingness to take risks secured his victory. As Chris stands over Furio, he realizes that in the brutal world they inhabit, sometimes sheer will and adaptability can outmatch even the most disciplined training. If you enjoyed this short story, hit that like that button and subscribe to the Platinum Wave for more dope content. Peace, gang.